Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. I'm going to make this real simple. The crash has started. We have sell signals all over the place. This move is going to be pretty extreme in my opinion. Now, we need another confirmation for us to really put the knife in the coffin, and I'll show you that. We're going to go through SPY, QQQ, and IWM just to reiterate the pathway that we're looking at. And so we'll go on the daily time frame and a few things on the 65 to see where we stand right now. But I do think we got our sell signals. I think we got our reversal, and we have to be diligent on this pullback and what to look for. Okay, so if you're new here, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Tender logo, and subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. That's the best thing you can make happen to keep growing this channel and getting this information out to traders, and hopefully we can learn something. So let's jump right into it since we're midday and things are happening. Price action, we talked about yesterday with the SPY that we were ending our count and we were getting this final move right near the options expected move. We were about here, got a little lift in the end of day, and I said we might have one more little leg to go. We got that leg and sold off immediately. So we're breaking the major trend line. That's a sell signal in itself. We have this low here at 468.50. That will be the final straw for our confirmation that the move is heading lower, because, and this is why, because our market structure says that this was a wave 4 and this is a 5. But the secondary thing that we have to look at is this is a 5-wave move. So this really could be a 1-2 setup to extend this this leg up. But there's a caveat. Remember when I said yesterday that this wave 3 is not the extension? Okay, so wave 1 is the longest. We have wave 3 is shorter than 1. 3 cannot be the shortest. So that's important to keep in mind. This leg started to get pretty long, and I think I have it on the Elliott wave picture. So this would be the 100% move that this leg could not exceed. Okay, that 478 area, that is the 100% move of wave 3 from the bottom of this wave 5. So price action could not exceed here, or else we have something totally different going on. Okay, and ignore this ABC. I was playing around with things here. I think this is an impulse wave. I think we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to complete the impulse wave, which is just a wave C of our overall. But I'm going to look at that in the daily time frame. We'll, don't pay attention to that right now. Okay, so the important thing is, on traditional technical analysis, we have our trend line. We broke down from it. To make a lower low would be the confirmation that we finished this move, because we have our wave 5 already, and this is the only other opportunity here is this possible wave 1, 2, and we go a little higher. All right. So let's take a look. This is our area that we think we're going to get some sort of bounce in. So as time goes by, this should be a pretty sharp move. Some people are saying this 5-wave move is, again, just like this little one, that this is a wave 1 and that we're pulling back for a wave 2. So we're going to see some sort of reaction down here at one of these levels, but I think price action is going to continue on, but we're going to look for a bounce. I don't know if we're going to play it, but we're going to look for a bounce, or at least a spot to take profit and possibly put on some call protection. Okay, so that's right down at the 434. That's a 62% retracement. and this 423. And when we go to the higher time frame, you'll see that kind of coincides right with this this possible trend line that we have there. So I'll show you on the Elliott wave page. Again, ignore that ABC there. Actually, I'll move them for you. So we should, if we're bullish, we should get some sort of A, maybe a reaction off that 50%, a B, and a C. I am not bullish, but this is what the secondary, our backup scenario would be. Possibly an ABC zigzag, because if this is a 1-2, we're going to get a 5-3-5 move. And that would set up for a move to higher grounds. Now, my position is that we're going to get a 5-wave impulse move. So it's going to look very similar. They're not going to make it easy for you. We should get a nice 5-wave move, a wave 2 pullback. Could be sharp. This might be shallow. You know, if this is a wave that I think it is, could be pretty shallow or just at least very fast. So we're looking for 1, 2, another 5-wave move down for 3, 4, and 5. And it may not be easy to decipher, just like anything else. Like we didn't know. We thought this was a correction. You got your 3 waves up here. We thought the move was done, but price held and kept going higher for a 5-wave move. Okay. All right. Going over to Qs, just so you can see what's happening on the lower time frame. This is the important part. We have the traditional technical analysis. We have our major trend line has not been broken on the Qs. A little bit different. We will be looking for this to break today, tomorrow, next day, sometime this week. Should have a nice sharp move. And this is our zone here. You see that trend line? That's very similar to SPY. So we're looking for a bounce into this zone here. All right. We have a lot of gaps to fill. Filled one today. We have a lot more to fill, even if you're bullish. If we look on the Elliott wave, the Elliott wave, I have this counted the way I want it, and that's 1, 2, 3. No, I don't. Sorry, I gotta update these, you guys. I'm gonna make this video pretty quick, so I'm not gonna do too much. We got all my alerts triggering right now. We're gonna have to check our positions when we get off this video. Some of them probably already need to be rolled out. So I have some positions for today, into tomorrow, into the rest of the week, and a couple months out as well. All right, so this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be counted different. I didn't check the length. It looks pretty lengthy, so we'll have to check the length of wave 3. I'm not sure that this can be counted that way. I'll check that later. Either way, we're looking for the pullback to come into this 50%, maybe get a reaction here, but ultimately more likely around the 62 to get a reaction off there, and even deeper, the 356. I'm not going to be buying the dip aggressively. I think this move is going to be aggressive, so I don't want to buy the dip. I will put on call positions as we get much deeper. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to, let's start off with the SPY again. Check out our Elliott wave on the daily time frame, then we'll go back to Qs, and then IWM, and we'll end this. So assuming that this is the top, we have our top that's good here. Remember, I keep reiterating, I was skeptical about reaching over this top, but since the NASDAQ did, then that kind of confirms that this should be labeled as an A instead of a 1. So I took that scenario out. That's the only thing that changed. And then we have a 3-wave move up. You see the turquoise A down to B, and then a C wave with an impulse to end this wave B. So you have our large A, B, and we're looking for lower prices to break the low of a wave C, and we should see that in an impulse move. So that initial move that we're talking about, reaching that maybe 78.6, I'll just call it testing the lows in the Elliott wave picture here because we're not looking at trend lines. So we should get our initial wave 1. Should be a solid impulse wave 1, get a relief rally for 2, 3, relief 4, and 5 to end this wave C. This all should take place in 2024, but the caveat is, sure, our alternate situation is this is done and we start moving higher to new highs, right? I don't think that's the case. I think after the C, that's just a larger wave A. Get a pullback, maybe nice and deep, and then we continue a much bigger crash to the downside. Okay, and wave Bs can be crazy, so that B can be complicated. So we should be pretty straightforward on this move here. But when we get into this B wave, you know, it could be a zigzag, it could be a flat, it could be a triangle. We have all sorts of things. It could end up being complex. So we'll really have to be on our game when we get to that level. Okay, so we'll take a look at the traditional look. So we have our throw over of this wedge, this rising wedge. I think that this will appear to be setting up for that 1-2 setup to test the lows of the wedge, or perhaps this support here at 430. We'll get that's our wave 1. We'll get a bounce, our reaction, and then we'll start breaking down from the wedge. That's what I'm looking at. The alternative would be that we actually get a low here and we head higher, maybe filling out the wedge more, get new all-time highs. We'll work with that when we get there. But either way, whether you're bull or bear, I would expect a sharp move and then a bounce. So that matches whether you're a bull or a bear. Okay, the Qs. Qs, assuming that we have a top here, we did have some time ratios as well as this top with we'll call it a double top at this point. We got slightly above. So all that does is that takes off that possible wave 2. This can no longer be a wave 1 and a wave 2 because we exceeded the high of the possible 1. So now that happened, we can be into an A, an expanded B, got new highs, and now we see a nice sharp move down for a C, probably a little more dramatic than the SPY itself. This is now considered an expanded flat, or you can call it a double top. Doesn't matter. This, I'm a little bit more convinced that me counting the SPY, you saw how I was playing around with the SPY. I'm a little bit more convinced that this was a set of 3 waves. So this is possible an A, B, C here, and we had I'll have to work it out correctly, but let's call it an A, B, C, maybe a W, X, Y, where we get a zigzag, pullback, and a zigzag. So a double zigzag. Okay, that would make much more sense. All right, going to traditional technical analysis. We're looking for this rising wedge. Didn't quite get the top of it, but you can adjust it to where if we had the previous high, that would go directly with it. No big deal. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe we get some sort of low and somehow get just a new high there. It's possible. We'll see. We'll see what the price action gives us, but I think we have our reversal. So you have this large wedge in the daily time frame that we're looking to break. That would be confirmation. That would be a sell signal for us. And now, since we broke out from this flag, that's what I assume we'll be testing. You know, if this comes out pretty sharp, we're not going to come all the way down to the flag necessarily before we get a reaction. We have good support from here. I'll extend those lines. Around the 370 would be good support there. We have the uptrend possible uptrend line, but I think Qs are going to lead, so maybe our reaction is pretty small. We head lower. We'll have to see how that goes. But again, bulls are going to say that this is a wave 1. We pull back for wave 2. And even if you count this as a 3-wave move, an ABC, that could be a wave 1 for ending diagonal. So if you're bullish going into, let's say, March, we don't pivot till March and we have some bullish efforts. Maybe our alternate can be an ABC for 1, ABC for 2, ABC for 3, 4, etc., 5. So just kind of climb up this wedge just a little bit more. So that's something to look out for. In the future, that would be our alternate situation. Now, again, with the IWM, we've been looking at as this channel. So we had a fake break above this channel. Really, it's a zone. We just came to the highs here, made a new high, breaking down back into this channel. And I think we come down here at minimum, our alternate scenario. We had this downtrend line here, this pivot. We come back to test those lows, and we start heading higher for our alternate, which would mean this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or possibly just a zigzag 5, 3, 5. Now that would be giving us, we had our initial move down. I think we're complete with our correction. But if this is a situation where it's an A, B, and possibly a 5-wave move up to end up with C, but this is such a massive move, I can only expect this to be more complicated and just be a 5, 3, 5 and get us up somewhere in this consolidation here, maybe test the highs and before heading lower. That would be our alternate situation. And now, but we really have to break out of this channel. Looking at this traditional technical analysis, we'd come down, test this pivot and break out of the channel and head higher. Now on our situation where the top is in, we went through this yesterday where we have our initial move down for an A, a larger wave A, it's a larger degree, and now we need to correct. And then we have 3-wave move up for an A on a lower degree, A, B, C, for lower degree B, and then impulse wave 5-wave move up to a lower degree C, which would complete our B wave, our channel. All this consolidation since 2022 ended, and now we're looking for an impulse wave down for wave C, and that should be a nice large move at minimum comparable to this move here. But I think this one is more of an ABC. So I think this one is going to be clean cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way down. So that's what I want to show you. I think we have our sell signals. Crash is starting. Let's get this video out. Thanks for joining us here at Option Center. Have a wonderful day. Ride the trend.